Welcome, everyone. I'm Jen Dirks. I am president and CEO of Temple Milwaukee. I've been with the organization for 6 years, celebrated 6 years in August. So wonderful to meet everyone virtually. Some of you I've already met in person or had Zoom calls with you in this really crazy virtual environment that we're all existing in. So what we're going to do is spend, like I mentioned, we'll take you through orientation, what to expect as a new member of Temple Milwaukee, engagement opportunities. But for this purpose or this segment of today's webinar, we're going to turn the tables on you and ask a couple of questions of you and to find out about our new members. So we're going to have you introduce yourself, your name, obviously, and company. And then we're going to ask you to share how you heard about Temple Milwaukee or why you joined Temple Milwaukee, and then one unique fact. So if we could get through this pretty quickly, we've noticed that it's so wonderful to hear so many great facts and to hear from everybody, but we often don't have any time for the orientation. So if we could maybe get through, and I'm just going to walk us through people that I see on my screen. And so if you would unmute yourself and just share with us. So the first person I see is Ellen Sensky. So Ellen, why don't you do an introduction for everyone? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Ellen Sensky. I'm president and CEO of the Milwaukee Public Museum. How I heard about Tempo, I had been in professional dimensions, and so you will always hear about Tempo when you're in professional dimensions. And so I knew about it, and actually somebody I worked with in professional dimensions must be on the nominating committee, Sharon Guzman, and she reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in learning more, and I said sure. So one fact about me, I was stalked by a jaguar in the jungles of Paraguay. How was that?
You're kidding. Oh my gosh, that's quite a unique fact. Well, welcome, Ellen. Ellen and I had a chance to connect about 2 weeks ago, and we're really thrilled that you have joined Temple Milwaukee. So welcome. That is a unique fact. It's going to be interesting to top that, but let's see what we hear from everyone else this morning. So thank you, Ellen. Welcome.
Thank you.
Felisa Paris.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing fine. I'm Felisa Paris. I've been a friend of Tempo's for quite a while. I was blessed recently to receive the scholarship from the Foundation, a wonderful scholarship, and went out to Yale for that. And so I held from education as a researcher, writer, teacher. And what unique fact I'd like to share is that I'm late to running. When I say late, I've only been running for the last 3 years. And I'm now training for my first marathon.
Wow. So really congratulations. When is your marathon?
It was postponed from last year, the Chicago one. So I'm hoping that I get in the lottery for the New York marathon.
Wow. Congratulations.
And I'm just really praying that it'll be my first one to be running in New York. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. As Felisa did mention, she is one of the recipients of our continuing education grant through our Temple Milwaukee Foundation. It was so wonderful to see your name on the list of new nominees for membership. So welcome, Felisa. It's so wonderful to see you. I'm going to then go to Shaitania.
Oh, you see me up here.
I do see you. Perfect.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shaitania Brown. I'm the president and CEO for Employ Milwaukee. I heard about Tempo. Well, I got an email, and then my one of my staff persons, Tim McMurtry, knows a lot about Tempo. And so when I had him to give me some insight, he really praised Tempo. And being the new CEO at Employ Milwaukee, I wanted to expand my networks to be able to reach out and embrace and connect with new people. Unique fact about me, I mean, everybody has said some good stuff. I don't, I get in tune to kind of weird stuff. So, the Pick and Save commercial, this was on my brain this morning, so that's why I'm gonna say that. So the Pick and Save commercial, low, 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 that comes on. I love that commercial for some reason, and especially at the very end. So I sent Pick and Save corporate an email letting them know that I really, really liked the commercial. And I just was kind of saying, people complain, but I wanted to tell you I really like that commercial. It just stops me in my tracks every time. And they actually responded back. So I just thought that was kind of cool. But like for me, I kind of like that funny type of stuff. So
Shaitania, you could be the next spokesperson for Pick and Save. I mean, is that what we're hearing? That's awesome. Maybe there's like a media advertising career for you. That's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that unique fact. It's wonderful to have you join us as a new member. Next, I have, thank you, Marilyn Theot.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So my name is Marilyn Theot. I am the president and CEO of Edge Performance Acceleration. Like Ellen, I was a former PD member, so certainly was in professional dimensions. I currently am a member of Milwaukee Women's Inc., so hear a lot about Tempo through that. And I really know a lot of members. Prior to COVID, I spent most of my life on airplanes and in airports, traveling around the country, and never felt I really had the time to devote to being a member. But the world, that has stopped, and I don't think it's going to start back in the same way. So really excited to be able to network more in the Milwaukee area and be part of the organization. A unique fact about me, I don't think I'm all that unique. I guess I love all things water. I am drawn to water. We live on water. We kayak all the time. And I learned to surf for the first time at age 40. So I guess that's my unique fact.
That is awesome. That is a great unique fact. I'm still trying to get on one of those paddle boards.
Oh, paddle board.
I can't get it right. Lori Richards knows that. I'm not skilled in that, but welcome, Marilyn. It's nice to meet you and nice to see you. Angela Pittman Taylor, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Angela Pittman Taylor, and next month actually will mark 21 years with Baird. So been there a while. I am a director and I'm public relations manager there. And Baird has had a really long relationship with Tempo. And over the years, I've participated in a number of activities and projects. So Tempo's been on my radar for a while. A unique fact about me is, in addition to my work at Baird and other community-focused pursuits, I'm a founding member and secretary of Sisters with Stock Investment Club, which is focused on increasing financial literacy in the Black community. And Devona Wright Cottrell is our president. So we have a good friendship too. So
yes, we have a great alignment. She is a key leader for us as well, as you know. So welcome, Angela. It's wonderful to hear about that, and may have to engage you with our finance committee a little bit, so we can talk more about that.
I'm more a communicator than a mathematician, but okay.
Perfect. So am I. Well, welcome. Thank you, Angela. Carrie, you are up.
Hi, I'm calling in, so can you hear me?
We can, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thanks. Nice to see everyone. Good morning. My name is Carrie Gerlach. I'm the Director of Marketing and Fund Development at Clement Manor. We're a continuum of care in Greenfield, independent and assisted living apartments, memory care, long-term care, short-term rehab. So this time of COVID is especially challenging is a good word. We're learning new things. We're working on teamwork and providing customer service like we never have before, especially for the families, and assuring them that their loved ones are being taken care of. I heard about Tempo when I was in high school. My co-op boss at the time at the job that I was at was a member, and she would tell me about how the networking and meeting other women, learning leadership skills, and just having that network in the Milwaukee area was so important to her. And so it's been in the back of my mind since then. I know some of the members. Karen Von Rieden was my sponsor. I've known her for a long time. So I'm really excited to be part of the group. Something that I like to do in my spare time, I don't know if it's unique, is work on my family tree genealogy. I just surpassed 1,500 people in my tree. So it's also during COVID, something that I can do at home and still have connection to people. So it's a fun thing that I
Absolutely.
like.
That's something great to take up. Even I've heard from a couple of members that they've taken that up, and that's something that they've started to do during quarantine. So Carrie, wonderful. And it's honestly wonderful to hear that you heard that our legacy of 45 years of Temple Milwaukee has been around. So that's really wonderful. So welcome, Carrie, as a new member.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jennifer Ott. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us this morning. My name is Jennifer Ott, and I suppose I'm the president of Jennifer Ott Consulting. I actually learned about Tempo through my prior role at Associated Bank. But really, honestly, I've known Jen for 700 or 800 years. And my sister is a member of Tempo. Many professional women with whom I am friends and also professionally linked are connected to Tempo. And I finally kind of yanked my head out of the sand earlier this year and said, I really want to be a part of this organization because I've heard so many wonderful things and peripherally been able to learn so much. So I really wanted to be a part of the organization and have found that since I started my own business, that it's a great opportunity to just really network with other like-minded professional women and really feel that strength and inspiration from a group of really highly motivated and amazing people. So I'm really excited about that. A unique fact about me, as Jen can probably tell you over coffee or cocktails sometimes, there are many unique things that I could share. But one thing that I will say that drives my passion and it drives, my goal achievement every day and who I am is I am a breast cancer survivor. And I am very involved, not just having started my own consulting business, and doing a lot of public speaking in regards to cancer awareness and kind of overcoming difficulties, but I'm very involved with the American Cancer Society. I'm on their Wisconsin Leadership Board, and I am grateful every day for the life that I have and the fact that I'm approaching my 10th year of remission. So, yay.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Congratulations on the 10 years. Thank you, Jennifer. And I was just like, I wonder where she's going with the unique fact, but thank you so much for sharing that.
It could go a lot of different ways.
That's right. Thank you so much for sharing that. Welcome to Temple Milwaukee. Really great to see you this morning. Kendra Ingram, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I was a hair late. Good to see everybody, see some familiar faces, which is nice. My name is Kendra Ingram. I'm the president and CEO of the Marcus Performing Arts Center. I am new to Milwaukee. I've been here about 8 months, I moved here right at the beginning of the pandemic, but never more grateful to be in this great city and great state as I am now. Met some really great people over the last 8 months. A number of my board members are associated with Tempo, and colleagues I've met over the last few months are associated. So Jen, when she initially talked to me about this, I was like, well, I don't know, I'm kind of overcommitted right now with board service, et cetera. And man, I was just, after talking to Jen, I thought this is a great organization and really excited about networking with colleague CEO women or executive women. So I'm really excited about this membership. My unique fact, so I got in this business as a musician and then turned to the dark side of management and business school after, looking to teach music at the high school level. But I don't play anymore at all. And I think I've traded in my instruments for triathlon. So like Felisa, I think I came in right as you were finishing up. I really got into triathlon about 7 years ago. My very first time in Wisconsin was in Madison, supporting my husband, who's doing the Ironman there. And I came here for the Racine 70.3 half Ironman that ended up being mostly canceled, actually. But looking forward to, I've been doing a little training, even though triathlon season this year was kind of killed. I'm sure, Felisa, like every other race you were trying to do is pretty much virtual. So 2021 is going to be a great year.
Kendra, welcome. You are way more motivated. You and Felisa are way more motivated than I am, but that's awesome to hear. Welcome also to Wisconsin and to Temple, Milwaukee. It's really wonderful. I too enjoyed our conversation a couple of weeks ago. So I'm looking at Angela Johnson. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? How's
Good,
everybody?
how are you?
Good. I'm Angela Johnson. I am the Chief Information Security Officer and VP of Supply Chain at Children's Wisconsin. I've been there for, I don't know, a little over 3 years. I learned of Tempo when I was at Baird, and Devona pushed me over the edge this year as she caught me at a weak moment while I was doing nothing because of COVID, and said, "Here, you should join." So I'm joining. Happy to be here. I'm not a very unique person. I like computers. I'm just kind of a geek. That's all.
Well, that's wonderful. No, thank you. We that's a unique talent, and we are so grateful that you have joined us. So welcome, Angela. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I am not on video, but in this lovely virtual world with technical glitches, for the last couple of Zoom meetings, my camera wants me to be upside down. So you don't want to see me on my head right now. It's a little distracting. But my name's Jessica Zaratsky. I am an attorney, partner at the law firm of Hush Blackwell, and I'm in the Milwaukee office. I was introduced to Tempo. I feel like I have just had the pleasure of interacting with so many awesome women who are members of Tempo. And I am the co-chair of the Women United Council for the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County, which has a number of amazing women and Tempo members on it. And one day, my good friends who are not on that council, but our good friends, Mary Ellen Krieger and Inga Plautz, reached out to me and said, "We just realized you're not in Tempo and you're going to be in Tempo." And I said, "Absolutely. That's an organization I've been looking at for a really long time." So just needed that little bit of a push. So really appreciate that. And something unique about me, my husband and I, because we're not busy enough with everything, own the Dairy Queen in Door County.
Wow. That's maybe not as popular a spot right now, but it certainly is when pre-COVID, certainly, and post-COVID for sure. So
And
that's wonderful.
I will tell you, it has been, actually, this has been the best year. It's, I think it's a drive-through and walk up, and it's just the treats. It's not the grill and chill. And being up in Door County, I think a lot of people went up to their homes there and quarantined. And we were one of the only places open for a long time up there. So I think, the fact that everyone just wanted to get out when they could, and that it's a treat like ice cream.
Yes.
It's actually been really, great for us to be able to help the community members get their treats.
Well, that is wonderful to hear. Thank you. We might have to do like a little retreat up in Door County. So wonderful. Thank you, Jessica. Nice to meet you virtually.
Thank you.
And it looks like Amy Johnson joined us from Baird as well. So Amy, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to be late. It's hard to follow Dairy Queen with that. Apologize to be late. I am Amy Johnson. I work at Baird. I've been with Baird for 16 years. I'm a managing director here, and I am just rolling off actually as the co-chair of Baird's women's organization called Ascend. So that was actually kind of my transition into Tempo. I've been to many Tempo events through my Baird friends at different tables and different events, and I've always just been very impressed with the programming. So being a mother of 3 boys, I don't have a ton of free time, but with one thing rolling off, I was ready to take on a new initiative. And I'm really looking forward to expanding my network of meeting other females. Right now, I'd say my network is my circle that I work with directly, as well as a lot of Baird people, and my kids, soccer friends and things. So I'm looking kind of expanding my professional network. The unique thing about me, I think I would just say I'm an audiobook junkie. To the point where I read about 100, or I shouldn't, my husband says I don't read anything. I listen to about 100 books a year. So
Wow.
I'm always looking for new books. I use it as part of my commute at the sidelines at the soccer games. I usually have my headphones in. It's just my kind of getaway, my time to myself. And I absolutely love audiobooks of any and every kind.
Well, that's wonderful. I just took advantage of audiobooks listening for the first time. We'll talk a little bit about our leadership event in Gabrielle Union, but had the chance to listen to her audiobook of her, and it was incredible. So I was like, I am sold. This is the greatest way to read a book. So Amy, nice to meet you virtually as well. As Amy and Angela mentioned, Baird is a incredible supporter of Temple Milwaukee. We have a lot of members, and Sharon de Guzman, who sits on our board, has been really an advocate for so many. So welcome, Amy. So that does it for our new members, which is wonderful. So lovely to meet everybody. Hopefully we can meet in person soon, fingers crossed. But I'm now going to turn it over because we have a couple of Temple Milwaukee members as well as some leadership. So I'm first going to turn it over to Kathleen Doherty, who is a longtime Temple Milwaukee member, and talk a little bit about your membership and how you're engaged with our organization.
Yeah, so good morning, everybody. I just wanted to hop on. I'm president at Brannigan, which is a creative communications company in the 3rd Ward. When we're actually in the office, that's where we're located. Right now I'm in San Fran. No, I wish. But I have been a member for 6 or 7 years of Tempo, and for a lot of the reasons that you ladies have talked about today, which is expanding your professional network and and friendships throughout Milwaukee. It's just been one of the most, I would say, rewarding and rich memberships that I have in the city. And I've just really loved it. And I have felt that with everything, I originally started and, tried to go to as many meetings and luncheons, and then really realized that you get what you give. And so wanted to get more involved. Right now I serve on the engagement committee, as well as co-chairing the leadership event this year. That is the Gabrielle Union, huge event that we're so excited about, with my friends, Tammy Garrison, Karita Jones Aguam, and then Liz Peschel, who is an EWLer, who I'm sure you'll learn more about that group. But yeah, my unique fact is, I don't know, I had one.
Singing.
Well, yeah, I love to sing. It's my passion. It's my secret, like sing in the shower, sing everywhere. I moved to New York City to be on Broadway after college. This is Plan B. It's a lovely Plan B. I'm actually a huge supporter of the arts in Milwaukee, sit on several boards, and just love, love, love what it does for the next generation and the confidence it builds. So welcome everybody, and love to get to know you over the next, months, years, and hopefully when we can be together again.
And I will add to Kathleen's unique fact in that she was the winner, or she was a contestant last year for Tempo's Got Talent, which was our version of America's Got Talent. She actually took the stage with Adele. So I will say that, Kathleen. I thought you were going to share that unique fact, but yes, Kathleen sang on stage with Adele. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So Kathleen, welcome.
Yeah, that's a wine story, if everyone's ever interested.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to our board chair, Lori Richards. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Jen. And Kathleen's story is a hard one to top as well, because mine is nowhere near as fun or fabulous. But first and foremost, I want to thank you all for being here this morning. It is amazing to see this new class of Tempo members. So a bit about me professionally, I am CEO of Miller Communications here in Milwaukee, a company that I started with almost 20 years ago, just as a young thing out of college. And I was blessed enough to have an incredible leader and mentor in the firm's founder, Carl Miller, who I remember in my early days would sit down with me and he would say, "Who are the most powerful women in business in Milwaukee, Lori? Who are the women leaders in this city?" And I would think to myself and I would say, well, you know, Mary Ellen Stanek. I mean, for all of the Baird folks on always at the top of the list, Julia Taylor, and the list wasn't very long. So to me, what a powerful and incredible movement to be part of a group that is just expanding the pool of women on those lists, preparing women to take over those seats and also representing women that are now in those seats. So I love being part of this organization. Again, I've had an incredible professional mentor, but Tempo for me became the organization that helped me figure out how to find the balance in my life that I needed to both be a working mom and a growing professional as well. So Tempo has played incredible roles in my life as I've been entered and exited different phases as well. And I hope you all find and have the same experience. So just briefly, moving into kind of the pandemic this year, I couldn't have timed my tenure as board chair better, right? To just jump in the middle of a global pandemic. But obviously when conditions started to change, Jen and I had a lot of conversations, and we kind of honed in on our core as Tempo. What's most important for Tempo members at this time? And it's been incredible because our membership rate has remained virtually unchanged in terms of renewals within Tempo. And new members have continued to be added at a very, very consistent, if not increased pace. So I think that speaks to the value of Tempo. So that's kind of the thought that I want to leave you all with today, that no matter the point at which you are in your career, no matter what your biggest challenges are today, just given, again, the fact that we're in a global pandemic, a lot of us are struggling with managing home and kids and work and all of the things. There are offerings and resources within Tempo to support you where you're at today in this moment, short-term goals, and then also long-term goals. So I'd encourage you to find an opportunity and the support network that you need to help you get through on the short term, and then to help you as well to be aspirational. The other thing I've loved about Tempo is I've got some fierce lady mentors in this group that kick me in the behind when I need it and say, do that thing, why aren't you doing it? And I think we all need that occasionally, once in a while as well. So I challenge you all to find those opportunities within Tempo, because they surely exist, both for support today, but also to challenge you to help you grow and reach your next professional goal. So thank you again. So thrilled to have you all here.
Thank you, Lori. Wonderful to work alongside you and learn so much from you. I often say I am the most blessed CEO in all of Milwaukee because I'm surrounded by 425 Tempo mentors, and you are one of them. So thank you so much.
You. My
yes, your unique fact. I was just going to say, don't.
I don't know if there's a genetic link to this, but I am the 4th generation in my family to have my appendix removed. And my 7-year-old daughter, she was 5 when it happened, is now 5th generation. So we have a very strange and long genetic lineage of poor appendices.
That's crazy. I know you've shared
weird.
that before, and I was like, that might not be a unique fact for our Tempo's Got Talent, but thank you. Thanks,
I would
Lori.
not like to perform that.
Right, yeah. Thank you so much, Lori. Good to see you. And Devona, our chair-elect, good morning.
Good morning, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here today. I'm excited for all of you to be a part of Tempo. I know you're going to get so much out of it. I joined Tempo several years ago, and I think, you know, one of the best benefits was jumping in right away and being involved on committees. and just attending the program offerings that are there. Tempo helped me to stretch in ways that I wasn't stretching sort of in my day-to-day or even in other community work that I was involved in. When I joined Tempo, I think we were starting to embark on our D&I journey. Jen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe so. And I joined the D&I committee, something that I was really passionate about. One of my pillars is access and access for all. And I felt like Tempo was this incredible organization for, executive level women, and we needed to open up that access to all women. And so we really dug in, and as a committee and as an organization to make sure that we were inclusive and we were continuing to build that muscle. So I would encourage all of you to just dive in right away. Now is a perfect time because we're all virtual, and so you'll find ways and opportunities to be involved that might be a little bit easier than prior when everything was in person, although we will get back to that at some point. And so I will say that my unique fact is I climbed to the peak of the Great Wall of China.
Wow, that's incredible.
That was several years ago when I was in a lot better shape. So,
well, it's quite a feat. Thank you, Devona. Yes, we will share more about Tempo's D&I journey as we go through orientation, but it has been an evolution, I will say, and you were instrumental in helping to make sure that we were changing the narrative within our organization. So thank you, Devona, and thank you for stepping up to be vice chair for our board. So we are really honored and thrilled. So one of the definitions of a good leader is building a incredible team around you. So I'm going to turn it now to our Tempo Milwaukee team. Many of you probably have heard from either Marit or Kelsey. So I'm going to have Marit introduce yourself. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you, see some new faces, learn unique facts. My name is Marit Harms-Brandsey. I am the Director of Membership and Programs at Tempo. I celebrated 5 years with Tempo in August. It's gone very fast, but so fun to see how we've evolved every year, and especially this year. It just seems like things are happening so quickly. My unique fact, and I got to make sure I don't repeat what I've done in the past. So I'm not to 100 audiobooks, but I have read a ton of physical books this year with COVID, and I can track it through Goodreads. I use that app. So in 2019, I read, I think, 6 books total. And this year I've already read 24. So new COVID hobby. So it's always a goal in the new year, but I actually did it this year. So thanks, COVID.
That's awesome. Marit, what's your best read?
Oh, I'll have to look through my list.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, perfect. Please do. Yes, Marit is an instrumental and integral part of our Tempo team. So is Kelsey Aragon. Kelsey.
Hello, good morning. Great to see everybody. Wish we could be in person, but this will do just fine. I am Kelsey Aragon. I have been with Tempo. When Marit said 5, I was trying to think of mine and I don't really remember, but I started as an intern, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my senior year at Marquette. I interned throughout the year and then I started full-time right after graduation. So I was really blessed with that opportunity and just made that postgraduate transition so much easier. And it's been a great experience to meet so many incredible women, just as a young woman, just getting started in this real world place, to have so many, as Jen mentioned, just people to look up to, women mentors, and it's really rewarding. And yeah, I always struggle with the unique fact too, to not repeat anything, but I think that I'll do, my boyfriend and I really like to just try random activities and take random classes. So we've done like pottery, glass blowing, painting, all those things. And our most recent, which was so fun, was a ropes course down in like Burlington or something. And it was really, really fun to get outside and like test my upper body strength. That's not very existent, but it was a lot of fun. So we just try to find those random things to use new parts of our brains.
Thank you, Kelsey. Yeah, you do have some great dates. So that's really, it's really fun. So, so welcome everyone. We have about an hour, maybe 50 minutes left. So just a quick little unique fact about me is, as a few of you have alluded to, we have a leadership event coming up on November 19th. And today is actually my CEO message recording. So I'm going to probably jump off of this call a little bit early so I can head over to Fiserv Forum. But thank you again for joining us. Welcome to Temple Milwaukee. We're going to take you through this orientation deck. If you have any questions throughout, please do not hesitate to put them in the chat, or we will have hopefully time to ask any questions of the Tempo team, Lori or Devona. So as we begin, Temple Milwaukee is 45 years old this year. We celebrate our 45th anniversary. In 1975, a group of women came together to really change the landscape of women leaders in Milwaukee. And they formed Temple Milwaukee with this idea of much of what you talked about, a network of women that were in executive leadership roles to learn from one another, to develop professional development skills or continuing education. So that is a little bit about our history. Our mission, so 45 years ago, our founding members came up with this mission, and it still holds true today, and that is to further the impact of women leaders in our community. And this idea of 45 years ago, as I mentioned, the landscape, the environment for women executives was vastly different than it is today. But they had a vision of a society where executive women shared an equal place in leadership, policy, and decision-making. And while we have evolved greatly since 1975, and we can see so much progress and women getting to the C-suite roles and the executive leadership roles, we do know that there is still lots of work to be done. And so that is really how we are continuing to carry out our mission and our vision of Temple Milwaukee. So our core competencies, you see this in the tagline of our Temple Milwaukee logo. We are to advocate on behalf of our Temple Milwaukee members and advancing their interests within the community. We also elevate, we've talked a lot about how can we support one another, mentoring and professional development, and a lot of engagement opportunities. And then accelerating, how do we continue to champion and advocate for women to reach even greater career aspirations, or maybe they're thinking of transitioning to another career opportunity, and certainly want to accelerate that on behalf of our members. So those are our core competencies. Our core values, so really we've talked a lot about leadership, and we'll talk a little bit about the profile of Temple Milwaukee and what sets us up differently from many of the other women's organizations here in town, but it's a real focus on leadership and specifically women that are at the height of their careers or in executive leadership roles. Networking, we heard a lot of you mention that this was a big reason why you joined Temple Milwaukee. And we have a lot of engagement and networking opportunities with our over 425 Temple Milwaukee members. And then we are probably best known externally for our mentoring focus. So again, many of you talked about, and I talked about, how this is one of the greatest values and benefits that I've found in Temple Milwaukee, and that is being mentored by so many incredible women, as well as having the opportunity to mentor the next generation. And we'll talk a little bit about our Emerging Women Leaders program, but also externally mentoring. We've had a mentor awards event. We celebrated 30 years of that event in February. And that's really how it's a public facing event and really our focus on making sure that we are advocating, we are building awareness of those individuals and organizations that are mentoring in our community. So those are our core values. Member criteria, as many of you know, and certainly you all fit this profile, but it sets us aside from different organizations in terms of we're really looking for that 10 to 15 plus years of professional experience, as well as that additional experience of that senior executive level. So we're looking at women that are CEOs within their organization, or they're in the C-suite. They are making the decisions, or they are a female business owner. All of you have that profile. And that's what we've tried to stay true to over the last 45 years, because I think it's important that women at this level in their career are among women that share the same kind of career aspirations or challenges and opportunities, and can best practice share and be in the room with other CEOs and other executive women leaders. So leadership is obviously a big criteria. Community involvement is another area of importance for Temple Milwaukee members. What are you doing outside of your 9-to-5 job and working to impact those in our community? And so we look for a lot of community involvement from our Temple Milwaukee members as well. And then certainly an endorsement from either your workplace or from your community involvement. This is a little bit about our membership stats. We have 435 total members to date, and it's a wide-ranging variety of industries that we serve and represent. And we've been really strategic about looking at organizations and industries that are maybe highly male-dominated, technology, manufacturing, construction industry, and really tapping into those industries as of late, as they are elevating women to those executive roles. And certainly, so we've been able to really diversify our industry base. And as Lori mentioned, we've had a steady growth of new members over the years, and that continues even during COVID, which was really wonderful to see that our network and our legacy and the importance of an organization like Temple Milwaukee is still something, even during a pandemic, that is really of value. So we average about 82 members a year. And it looks like we're going to be on pace similar for this year as well. And Marit, as she advanced it through these slides with the membership growth, you can see kind of our trajectory of really incredible growth over the years. 272 in 2014, all the way up to 425 and now. So this is who we are, a little bit about our governance. We are 3 full-time employees. So myself, Marit Harm, Spranzy, and then Kelsey, who you met as well. And also our intern, Amanda Patterson. She is just joined us again. She will graduate from Marquette in December, and we are so thrilled to welcome her back as an intern. And then as you know, we are supported, we are a nonprofit supported by a board of directors with 19 board members. Including Lori Richards, who you just met, as well as Devona Wright-Cottrell, our past chair, Mary Beth Cottrell, Sharon DeGuzman, and several others that you all know and have mentioned sit on our board of directors. And they are really instrumental in making sure that we are staying aligned with our strategic vision, and we have a growth opportunity and looking at how can we continue to have an impact in this community. Our committees. So there is what you will learn. If there is one key takeaway from today's presentation, you will learn there is no lack of engagement opportunities. And I think Kathleen said it really well earlier that, what you get from Temple Milwaukee is what you put into it. And so it's not a requirement that you engage on any of our committees, but it is a really wonderful way to see the value of Temple Milwaukee and to get engaged. So these are just a listing of our committee, our member committees, communications, all the way to our diversity and inclusion, our leadership event, some of the other, our membership committees as well. Each of our committees are led by a chair and a vice chair. And we think that that's really important because we know that they're among the 400 plus members. We know that there are all leaders. And so if you're looking for other leadership opportunities and volunteer opportunities, we have those opportunities as well. It's a one-year term, and we get to see a lot of our different leaders within Temple Milwaukee. Our finances, really quickly, we are a 501c6, so it's a little bit different than a typical 501c3, but it is a membership organization. We collect dues, obviously, annually, and with those $500 dues comes a really, we believe it's the best value in town, 8 monthly program meetings. Those typically happen when we can meet in person over the lunch hour, and Mart will talk a little bit about the frequency of those. It also includes 5 professional development sessions, our Tempo Discovery events, and then our holiday party. Our revenue sources in terms of our dues include our Emerging Women Leaders, which have a separate sense of dues, our Women's Affinity Alliance, which Mart will touch on, corporate partnerships. So we have a lot of really wonderful organizations in town that support the work that we are doing and certainly have women in leadership roles within their company. And so it greatly aligns with our organization. Certainly our signature events and sponsorships from that, and then interest income on investments. We also have a charitable side of our organization through our 501c3, which is our Temple Milwaukee Foundation. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about this later on in the conversation. But this is where you heard Felisa talk a little bit about this annual continuing education grant, and that is run through our foundation, as well as our Mentor Awards event in February. That is our 501c3. A couple of quick notes about the future of Temple Milwaukee. We released our new strategic plan in April. Our calendar fiscal year runs May 1st through April 30th. So it's a little bit of a different fiscal year, but so that's why you see the split years and everything that we do. But in April of 2020, we launched our new strategic plan. And this is the idea that as in 3 years, Temple Milwaukee is going to continue to be an inclusive network of female executives and emerging women leaders, providing the leadership, the professional development, community, and mentorship. In 2023, we will continue as an organization whose strength and position impacts the community. We will remain a thought leader on equity and matters of importance for women in the workplace. We'll talk a little bit about that. We will continue on our goal of being a business partner and a resource for corporations, nonprofits, affiliates, and members of the media. And certainly we will continue to be a financially strong organization. We will achieve these goals through these 4 strategic pillars of what we call, but at the center of all of this is really the member experience and how are we continuing to provide value to our members. And so we believe that we are going to do and accomplish all of these goals by 2023 through these 4 pillars. So I'll go through these rather quickly, but the network and the value of Temple Milwaukee, you've heard me talk a lot about it, but for more than 425 Temple Milwaukee members, it is really an incredible network. We have an online directory. This year we didn't print out a directory, but it's really, if you just go and spend some time on our online directory, you will see that, as Lori talked about, this is the powerhouse of women leaders in Milwaukee. And so we want to not only look at that, but also the value that we're providing. So that is the strategic pillar of accomplishing our goals from that. Our legacy and brand, as you've heard me talk about, we celebrated 45 years. There's a lot of equity built into our Temple Milwaukee brand, but we also know that with 45 years of brand, what does the next 45 years look like? So at the end of this year, we will be announcing a brand refresh. So kind of a different look and feel to our logo, and nothing will change in terms of our mission and vision, but just kind of brushing off a little bit of Tempo's brand this year. So exciting stuff to come. Devona talked a lot about this, but our focus on equity and belonging. Our journey with D&I started 45 years ago, but has really seen a lot of focus and priority from the board level down to our committees, down to our new members and how, like many organizations, how we are tackling equity and belonging, how we are changing the narrative for Temple Milwaukee. We realized, about 6 years ago, prior to this new strategic plan, that our membership did not reflect truly the diversity of our Milwaukee business community. And so we had to take a hard look and a hard step back to say, how are we going to change that? How are we going to create an inclusive environment where women of color want to join Temple Milwaukee? They feel that this is an organization that supports all women. And so we've been on a really incredible journey. We've evolved over the last 6 years, specifically with the help of a really tremendous D&I committee that is focused on changing this narrative. And so you'll hear a little bit more about that. We've done some really great work over the last 6 years, but most importantly, in the last couple of years to really change our focus there. And then finally, our community and impact. So we'll talk a little bit about this, but this is an area of how are we giving back to the community. So a lot of the work that's focused on in this area is our emerging women leaders. They are this next generation, they're the future generation of our Temple Milwaukee leaders, but also the impact we're having from our Temple Milwaukee Foundation. How are we giving back? The continuing education grant, the undergraduate scholarships that we give away through our mentor awards. And then certainly a big piece that Marit will talk about is our collaboration with Tempo affiliates, so our chapters throughout Wisconsin. We have several of them, as well as our work with the Women's Leadership Collaborative. So that's a little bit of our focus on our strategic planning. Marit, you are up next.
Great. And since Jen has to jump off a little early, I just want to see if anyone has questions for her. But Kelsey and I could certainly answer them too. All right, we'll keep rolling. Feel free to use the chat. I know it's a little hard to jump in on Zoom. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what makes Tempo different and some offerings that we have. But first, a quick look at some highlights from 2019-20. So this would be May 1st, 2019 through April 30th, 2020. So just an overall comprehensive look at all that we're doing and kind of how it all fits together. So you have these slides, I believe, that you can kind of look back over this once I dig into a few things. So key differentiators, certainly since Tempo started in 1975, it's been the programming tailored to this network demographic of women in senior and executive leadership roles. And I'll talk more about what that really means in a bit here. But one of our key differentiators and more external facing initiatives that I know many of you are familiar with is our Women's Affinity Alliance. So this was started in 2011 by a group of, I think it was 3 or 4 members who were running their women's employee resource group or business resource group, colleague resource group, whatever you call them at your company. But these were women, the executive sponsor, and they were looking for best practice sharing and networking opportunities. So they founded the Women's Affinity Alliance, and it made sense to just kind of have Tempo be the umbrella for it. So WAY brings together members, non-members, women in your company who might be running the women's employee resource group, but really the benefit is quarterly events to come together around a topic related to ERGs, network, make connections, learn what other companies are doing within Milwaukee. So as I said, Tempo members, you can add this on for $100 to your dues. You can be a corporate sponsor, but then we definitely have a lot of non-Tempo members as well who are part of this. Looks a little different during COVID, but we're still pivoting to provide value to these members. And here's just a look at some of the companies in Milwaukee that are involved as partners. Another key differentiator that you've heard us mention a lot is Emerging Women Leaders, or EWL. This section is all about the 3-letter acronyms, WAY, EWL, WLC. So EWL was started right when I came on to Tempo, actually. We were just taking nominations for the first group of EWL, and it was really started for a few different reasons. One, to have a succession plan for Tempo members. The thought is you join EWL, and then if you like, you advance into Tempo once you reach that 5 years of executive experience. Two is we were having so many great nominations for Tempo of women that just lacked that senior experience, and we had nowhere really for them to go. So we created this awesome community for mid to senior level women. It's not entry level right out of college by any means. On the next slide, one of the next slides, you'll see the criteria. But this group has their own programming, their own mentoring initiatives. And it's just an amazing network of women who are really supporting each other. So started with 40. This slide actually needs to be updated because we just welcomed 50 more women into EWL. So we're at about 286. So awesome, awesome growth. We kind of call this our little startup within Tempo because it seems to change every year, but it's a lot of fun. So a few different highlights. Again, membership growth is now, I think, at like 610% since we started. We've got mentoring opportunities. Nominations are accepted twice a year. And then just really great member retention. I think an industry average for member retention is 90%. So we're happy to tout that success. Here's the EWL criteria. Differs a little bit from Tempo. We're looking for at least 6 years in the workforce. So again, not entry level. At least one way that you're involved in the community is required to be involved in EWL. And we really want that support sponsorship from your company or a leader. So we just accepted fall nominations for EWL, as I mentioned, but there will be an opportunity in the spring. If you do have someone who you think would be a good fit, definitely send me an email and we can start inviting her to events to get a feel for what it's like. Tempo Milwaukee Foundation, we've talked a lot about this. Hi, Felisa, see your photo up there again. The Tempo Milwaukee Foundation's been around since 1990, and we've really done a lot of work in the past several years to raise awareness and do more because we do have a significant amount of funds in the foundation due to the success of our mentor event over the years. So with that, we started the continuing education grant in 2018, I believe. We've given away about $30,000 in scholarships. Felisa is one of the recipients of those. I believe the application for that opens in early 2021. So something that we continue to do as well as our mentor awards. Another 3-letter acronym, the WLC. So the Women's Leadership Collaborative, I've heard a lot of you mention Professional Dimensions, Milwaukee Women Inc. They are great partners to us. We all kind of have our niche in the community doing great things, but we came together several years ago to look at a more strategic partnership of, okay, when does it make sense for us to combine our membership, bring 1,000 women strong together and make a real impact? So it was decided that together we would form the Women's Leadership Collaborative and focus on equity as a whole, have one voice. And right now we're really focused on pay equity, knowing there's so many different factors that go into that, but really looking at it holistically from, government legislation, the individual perspective, and then companies. So some major wins we've really had was this summer, we released some research that we commissioned with the Wisconsin Policy Forum to look at pay equity on a local level. And now we're really using that to go to companies within our community and say, here's the data, will you help us change the narrative? So exciting stuff with the WLC, and it's an honor for me to kind of help lead this initiative with our 3 different groups. All right. Membership benefits. So here's the fun stuff. Now that you've paid your dues, got your login information, what can you really start to take advantage of? Obviously, this looks a little bit different because we are in a pandemic, but I'll kind of merge what it would look like pre-COVID and what we're doing now. And you'll see we are really offering so much virtual programming. So we really wanted to make sure that there is that value for members since we aren't meeting in person. So program meetings, if we were able to meet in person, these are 8 times a year. We get probably about 100 to 150 members attending these, typically at the University Club, but we bring in a keynote, we do a panel or a fireside chat, but really highlighting a topic that's trending in the business community or a leader that's making headlines, and then plenty of time for networking. So these have been on hold since March, I believe, but we will be looking to get back to these virtual starting in January on the 3rd Thursday. Tempo Talks, we started these in April, really around COVID-19 topics, featuring our Tempo members, sharing best practices and their knowledge and expertise around how they're pivoting. So they were every other Friday at noon. We've gone down to every other Friday, but we'll continue these even when we are able to meet back in person. I think there's so many benefits to virtual, and COVID was really the push that we needed to get there. So seeing it as glass half full, but this is also just a great opportunity that we've had to feature so many of our members, since these programs are frequent, and have their voices be heard on many, many different topics. So we're taking a bit of a break in November, but we'll be back in December for our Tempo Talks webinars. Real Talks, this is another new virtual series that was started and really in response to the events this summer with George Floyd, but taking a step back and saying we need to be doing more. We've mentioned our strong position in the community, our brand equity, and we weren't really doing anything with our members to bring them together and enable them to have conversations. So we created this safe space. We call it Tempo Real Talks. The first session we had was called Just Show Up. This is a safe space, and we want everyone to feel like they can come listen and learn. And we've since moved it into a chapter by chapter discussion of white fragility. So next week, we'll be talking about chapter 6. If you haven't read the book, that's okay too. It's really just a place to come and discuss different issues and hear different members' stories. So after we finish White Fragility, we'll continue with these. Maybe it's another book, maybe it's a different theme that we approach every month, but this will be part of our regular programming moving forward. Professional development series. For now, these are woven into our Tempo Talks Friday webinars, but in normal times, these are Friday mornings at the University Club. And the difference between this and a program meeting is it's really workshop style, more interactive, digging into a leadership theme or topic. There's usually like a workbook involved or some group activity, and our members and emerging women leaders love to bring their teams as just kind of a turnkey professional development opportunity that they can take advantage of. So our next one will be virtual, but around diversity, equity, and inclusion, and learning from various leaders from within our membership on how they've made headway within their organizations. Tempo Discovery. Now this is something that's really hard to replicate virtual, so they're on hold for now, but these are in-person social / educational events where we'll go to a cool new venue in the city or behind the scenes at a business that you normally wouldn't have the opportunity to. So some examples are we did a behind the scenes tour of Fiserv Forum when it opened. We've done Milwaukee Blacksmith, where we got to do some, I don't even know what you call it, some like metalwork, interactive stuff. What else have we done? Like Milwaukee Library, the downtown location that's so beautiful. So just an opportunity to go behind the scenes somewhere that you might normally not be able to, and at the same time hear from a leader at the organization. Mentor circles. So this is not an event per se, it's more of an activity you can opt in to join. You can see here we have 117, probably more now, members participating. But this is really your personal board of directors if you so choose to opt into this program. You're put in a group of about 6 to 9 Temple members. It's run by a volunteer facilitator. You meet, I think most of them meet once a month or maybe every 6 weeks, but it's completely confidential. You sign a confidentiality agreement. There's a lot of pre-checks that go into it to make sure there's no conflicts of interest. We don't know what's talked about in these groups. So I know Lori's been a part of them. A lot of members have, and it's really, one, a great opportunity to meet Temple members on a smaller scale, but two, if you really are looking for that advancement and development, a place to bounce ideas around and know that it is safe and confidential. So if you are interested, you can email the office. And then one caveat we always like to share is it can take a little while to get placed. One, if you're looking for a specific time period, and pre-COVID, if you wanted, for example, like a downtown morning group, it could take a little bit longer to have a perfect opening for you. And then another is the conflict checks to make sure that you're not in a group with anyone where you wouldn't feel safe to bring up anything. And I see some things in the chat. When can new members join the mentor circles? So really at any time, you could decide today to shoot an email to the info@templemilwaukee.org. If you decide in 2 months, your time's more freed up, it's really whenever you would like to. And then another mentoring opportunity for you as a Temple member is to become a mentor to one of our Emerging Women Leaders members. So this is one-to-one matching. We've made over 220 matches since 2017. A lot of those still going strong. A lot of those Emerging Women Leaders members now in Tempo as mentors, which is a really cool story. But basically you sign up 2 times a year, opt into this program. We give you some tools and best practices. We have an orientation, but then it's really up to you and your mentee, what that looks like, how often you meet. And it really is driven by the mentee to come up with the agendas, to come up with things that they're needing help with. And you as a mentor are really just there to provide a listening ear and support. So watch for more information about that in your Monday email, which Kelsey will get into. But if today you're interested and you want to just shoot me a note, I can get you on our wait list and I'll notify you when it's time to sign up. Signature events. So our most well-known event, I'm going to say it's becoming even more popular than the mentor event, is our leadership event. Last year we hosted Kendra Scott, thought it would be our biggest year ever with 800 attendees crammed in the ICC. But now this year we're forced to be virtual and we have about 1,500 people signed up already for our leadership event. So we're getting to the end, the finish line. It's in 2 weeks from today, I believe. No pressure, Tempo team. There's still time to sign up as an individual or as your company, but we're really, really excited. This will not be a Zoom call where you log on. This is a production. You're gonna want to sit down with your glass of wine or whatever, tea, and it'll be like you're watching Netflix. So we're really, really excited. And again, seeing this glass half full, an opportunity to create more awareness of Tempo with more people than if we were in person. And Gabrielle Union, come on, who doesn't love her? Holiday party. This is truly like one of my favorite events of the year. It's so fun at the Pfister. Obviously, it's not safe to do so this year, so we're going to have an abbreviated virtual version of our holiday party. It's on December 10th. from 5 to 6. But definitely in a normal year, it's just a great evening to network, have great food. We have a raffle for our holiday party. But watch for more information about the holiday party. There is kind of a fun incentive to get you to attend this year. And the reveal of the new brand that Jen mentioned. And then finally, two more to go. Finally, our mentor awards. Typically in February, last year we celebrated 30 years. We're going to shift it slightly this year to April. But if you do have a mentor in your life or a company that's doing great things, watch for nominations for that to come out in early 2021. Then golf outing. This is not included in your membership. So if you are a golfer, you can opt in to participate in this. Save the date for June 28th, 2021. And now I'm done.
Yeah, thank you, Marit. Before we jump to Kelsey and continuing the final, I just want to again say thank you to all of our new members. Welcome to Temple Milwaukee. We're so thrilled that you have joined our organization. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to any of the Tempo team. There may be a couple of minutes that Marit and Kelsey can answer any questions you might have at the end of today's session. But I do have to run, but I just wanted to thank you, everyone. It's so wonderful that you have joined Tempo. We are so very fortunate. So have a great afternoon. I will talk to everybody later. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Jen. And now Kelsey will bring us home and we'll get you out of here before 10 o'clock, I'm confident.
I'm on the clock. All right. Yeah, so I'm just going to cover over some of the items that you guys have already received, next steps, and just what to expect from the Tempo side being a new member and receiving communications and all of that. So your new member paperwork, which everyone should have received from me, includes your dues invoice, your member data form, which allows us to put all your contact information into our database, which then goes into our online directory, which I'll show you. Headshot and bio, again, this is included in the directory. We also list all of our new members quarterly in our newsletters, and then we do some social media posts each Friday for our new members. And then the engagement opportunities sheet was attached to the meeting invite for this orientation. So that is a recap, just a written sheet of all the different committees, all the different opportunities to be a mentor, to participate in the mentor circles. It gives a little bit more of a depth into when those committees meet, who leads those committees, and the work of all of them. So if you're looking to get plugged in, that's a great resource. And again, you can join those at any time throughout your membership. So now I'm going to share my screen and show you guys just a brief navigation of the website and what to do once you've received your login information. So once I get back all your paperwork and we have your dues payments in, you'll get a username and password. And this is just our tempomilwaukee.org site. So up here at the top is where you can use that login information. And it's all preset for you guys. I include this in my email once we've received that information, but first initial, last name, and then first name, Tempo, all lowercase, and you can customize that once you reach your profile. But you'll see that some new tabs have popped up once I logged in. So first I'll walk you through this directory tab. This is something that's only available once you log in as with your member credentials. And this is our online database of all of our members, all of our emerging women leaders, all of our Women's Affinity Alliance members. So this is going to be your go-to really to connect with anyone, to reach out with anyone that you might have interacted with in one of our virtual events now, or when we're in person that might have been sitting at your table that you just connected with and didn't grab a card for. So it's really important that we get all your contact information lists returned so that we can list you in here. This is updated in real time. So once you turn those in and we get them input, you'll be on here as well. There's also great features to search it. So you can search by first name, last name, if you know where they work or you're trying to connect with someone at a certain organization. Again, this is just a really good tool. And since we're virtual, we don't have our printed directories at this time. So this is going to be your best bet for getting connected with any members you might be trying to. The second tab that'll pop up once you log in is your member profile. This is a good resource to check or change any information. If you have a job change, you can go in here and edit your email or any sort of information that you need to update. You can also send that directly to us and we're happy to update it for you as well, but just making sure that we keep that information as up to date as possible. The other good feature here is your submissions. So this will allow you to see which events you've registered for, which events you've completed registration for. So if you're not sure, you can't find it on your calendar, My Profile submissions will show you if we've received a submission for that event. And then the invoices here will show you if there's any outstanding invoices to pay. If you haven't paid for an event or your dues invoice is still open, you can go here and access the invoice. You can pay it online or you can download a paid copy. Again, this is available once you've logged in on our site. We are also always happy to assist you guys with accessing any of that information quickly if you're unsure. So that is the website. I'll stop sharing and we'll go back to the PowerPoint. The Monday message, some of you might have started receiving this. This is sent every Monday morning, typically before noon. And this is just going to be your weekly update. It is any new events, new event registrations we might have opened within that week, or reminders that it's the last week to register for a certain event. We also have special announcements in here. If we're ever looking for nominations, we include that on there and all sorts of great information. So this is really your go-to. You don't really even have to navigate our website to find our events. We provide it all to you right here. So this is really your best bet. If you have not received this, please let me know. If you've turned in all of your paperwork and I've gone back to you that you're all set and you haven't received it, let me know. It sometimes can get stuck in spam. Another communication we send out is quarterly. It's called our Members Advancing Milwaukee. This is a great blast for sharing with all of our other members and emerging women leaders, any sort of involvement you might have outside of your organization or within your organization. If you have a job opening, if you're looking for members to join your board, if you have upcoming events or you have special promotions for Tempo and EWL members, if you're looking for donations, this is just a really great way to showcase the organizations that you guys are directly involved in through your jobs, but then also knowing that you guys all are involved on various different committees and within the community. So just sharing that scope there, and anything you might think that the Tempo and EWL community would be interested in. We will put this in the Monday message when we're calling for submissions, but these do go out quarterly. So the next one will be in January. So if there's anything coming up this winter or early spring that you might want to get out, just keep that in the back of your mind. And when you see that call for submissions, please feel free to submit it. We also send out a quarterly newsletter. This is done electronically each season. we send this out, and this is just a great recap if you've had a really busy quarter and you maybe haven't been able to attend as many events as you had hoped. This will give you a recap of every event that we've had that quarter, links to the recordings. It will have upcoming events for you to join. We do member in the news features for promotions and other accolades, any tempo updates and announcements, and then we also share, again, all of our new members. So this is a fun read. And again, just a great way to get caught up if you feel like you've missed out on anything, or just a good look back. And we're really excited about our brand new Career Center job board. So this is on our website and it's linked in our Monday message as well. But if you do have a job that's an immediate opening right now and you can't wait till January to fill it, this is a great resource for posting a job to the Tempo and EWL community. You can go on here and post it on your own, just step by step. It will ask you to fill in some items and then it goes live immediately. So this is a new member and EWL benefit at no cost to share your job postings. And then the URL is right there as well if you want to access that, but again, linked in the Monday message. And then another way that we just like to keep in touch with our members is on social media. So we encourage you all to follow us on whatever platforms you're active on. Again, we do some new member shout outs, some recaps of events, announcements, and just fun content. So another way to stay engaged. And we did have Kathleen and Ann on the call who were members of our engagement committee. They are tasked with reaching out to all of our new members. So they are assigned one-on-one to each of you. So you could expect an email or a phone call from any of them in the coming weeks. But this is just a great way to get a touch point with someone else within Tempo, maybe just to hear how they're involved, if you have any questions for any of them, or kind of where to start, or just a familiar face. I know it's more difficult in the virtual setting. You can't just walk into a room full of members and just start connecting like we usually are used to. But we're hoping that this is an opportunity for you to feel that immediate connection. And again, we just encourage you to share the word about Tempo and your experience with your networks. We're always looking to expand our membership and just tap those women in the community that are not yet involved. And that is all. We will now open it up for any questions. I know that was a lot of information all at once, but hopefully it's starting to just make sense and allow you guys to feel familiar with Tempo.
Thanks, Kelsey. Yeah, I think number one takeaway for you, if you haven't returned your new member paperwork, start and do that right away so you can start to take advantage of all that we have going. And we're always here to help with any questions or thoughts or suggestions. I put all of our emails in the chat. If there's any specific questions, wave your hand or unmute and jump in. We must have done a good job, Kelsey. No
we
questions.
must have.
I just have one quick question. Sorry, this is Catherine Murray. To join a committee is the best opportunity to do that when we speak with a member of the engagement committee that reaches out to us, just to see what the committees are about or where the greatest need is?
Yeah, you can, when a new member reaches out to you, you can ask them about their experiences. They all sit on the engagement committee, so they have that one pager that I sent out with information, but they might not be as familiar with the meeting cadence or what those committees are. So I would suggest reaching out to our team here. I'm happy to help with that. If something catches your eye on that sheet, or you just want to know more information, or you really are open to any committee, just to your point, that maybe has the greatest need, definitely I can help kind of guide you and direct you. We also encourage you guys, if you maybe just want to sit in on one meeting and see what it's about without fully committing to joining the committee right away, that's definitely doable as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me with any questions you might have on that engagement sheet that was attached.
Great. I don't think there's any more. We're right at about 10 o'clock. So hope everyone has a great rest of your day, rest of your week. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Hopefully get outside. And we are so glad you're in Tempo and hope to see you in person in the next 6 months. Fingers crossed. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.